All right, what's up, ballers? Jacob here with AllDriveNoDrop for the AllDriveNoDrop podcast, and we're joined by David from Tickle, my pickle. As usual, he was gone, but he is back. He has some stories to tell, and we have all the Black Friday sales you need to know about. So if you're looking to get that awesome Black Friday pickleball deal, just stay tuned. We're gonna get to that really quick. First, David, how are you doing today? What's going on?
Good, man. Glad to be here. Finally back from vacation, so it's nice to have a weekend in.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's like you always need that vacation from the vacation to like just catch
Yeah.
back up, especially when you get back to work. And it's I hear you, man. But you're looking good, feeling good. I like it. Um, we're gonna get to the Black Friday deals. Don't worry. But first, this just popped up. I literally saw this like 30 minutes before we hopped on. I had to show David. I was like, look at this. So this first, this is what the pickle. This is the segment where I'm just like, what is going on? What the pickle? And it's brought to you by Enhanced Pickleball. The Dink Master Pro is their main product, their like flagship product, and it's my favorite training tool. It is just very useful when you're testing paddles. If you're practicing, you can do a lot of drills on it. And my favorite thing about it, it's like maneuverable, so you can do it wherever you want. And then you can also, use it to tilt, which gets you a little more realistic bounce. I know you just released a review on that, David, and you seem to have enjoyed it quite a bit too. I don't know if there's anything you wanted to say in your experience using it.
No, I'm just a big fan of it. I was
Yeah.
actually using it a few hours ago, and then I just got back from a party with the neighbors, and they all said they couldn't hear me. So,
Oh,
good thing
nice.
there. I was
Nice.
so worried about that.
Yeah, and right now I know they're having a big sale. I'm not sure how long the sale's going on, but it's going to be 420 in the future. It goes down to 300 with their sale, and then down to 285 after you apply a code. So go check that out. Really big fan of the Dink Master Pro by Enhanced Pickleball. So the what the pickle of the week. Oh man, let's get out of this full screen. I have to go to Memes of Pickleball for this. So shout out Memes of Pickleball for providing this video. I think they probably got sent it by whoever was local at these courts. But let's just roll the clip.
Come on! Let's go! Fuck yeah!
Yeah, so when I first saw this, I wasn't really sure what to expect. It said the wildest ending to a pickleball match you'll ever see. And I would say it's probably the wildest thing I have seen on the pickleball court. To have someone get knocked out after the game. I mean, I don't know if the cops were called for an assault charge. I personally would have called the cops there. That's pretty
Right.
ridiculous. I know, like, the emotions were probably getting high. Who knows what happened during that game? I'm sure it wasn't just like at the end. He's yelling, yeah, for the win. And I don't think he meant. Who knows if he meant to slap the paddle out of his hand? I've had people slap the paddle out of my hand, and I think it's been by accident. But I'm not gonna go kick them in the head afterwards. What's your initial reaction to that, David? Because you just seen this like 10 minutes ago, and it's
Yeah.
fresh in your mind.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I was like, this was a lot more exciting than that Jake Paul and Mike Tyson.
Oh man, are we even allowed to talk about that? That was terrible. You
No.
can't be letting 50-year-olds go out there and box 20-year-olds. I mean, that's crazy. Hey,
Yeah.
so I haven't really seen much anger lately on the pickleball court. I've been, ever since I've like been playing more like, just not open play, and especially indoors, like everyone's usually on their, I won't say everyone's on their best behavior, but everyone realizes like, hey, I can't be acting a fool or I'm going to get kicked out of this place.
Yeah.
Um, so let me see. The worst anger I've seen on the court, I've seen like people cuss each other out before, and that's been over like court rotation or just like bad calls. And then I've seen people throw their paddles. The closest I've seen someone getting into a fight was actually somewhere like I was there and trying to stop it a little bit. They're arguing over the score and who's like what serve it was. Was it 1 or 2? And it just like kept going on, and I kind of had to be like, I was trying to talk them out of it, but eventually I just walked away because I'm like, hey, at the end of the day, if you guys are gonna fight, I'm just like, go do it. Like, I tried to stop you from arguing, but like I'm not gonna get in the middle of this and have the risk of you guys punching me, because like I don't want to be involved with it anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've seen people throw their paddles, not at people, but like sometimes people throw their paddles, and when you're throwing it in anger, sometimes you don't know who's over there. You're just chucking it. Like I've never thrown my paddle, and like I definitely don't plan on it, because you don't know like where you're throwing it in anger or where you're going. But that's kind of the situations I've seen. I haven't seen anyone get in a fight yet. I hope I don't have to. That's crazy to getting knocked out at the court though. Like what's the worst situation you've seen on the court? Like, have you seen yelling, cussing? You seen fighting?
So the only like thing that's been closest to the fight hasn't even been about like the game itself. It's been about court rotations. It's people being like, it's my turn to use the court. It's my turn to use the court. And that's where I've seen like people getting into each other's faces. But in terms of like actual gameplay, at least the people I play with, the facilities I go to, people are pretty respectful, because a lot of times you're playing with a stranger. You're not going to cuss out a stranger.
Yeah.
And if it is like people getting annoyed at each other, it's usually like they know each other. And
got you.
Someone's cheering a bit too loudly for the other person's taste, and then they'll start cheering back, and then you'll get like some bad manners. Like some people, instead of like giving the ball back to them so they can serve, you just roll it to the side of the court and be like, pick it up yourself. So
yeah, I've seen
that's like the worst I've seen, but I've never seen like an actual fight like that. That's bad.
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, I've seen the ball roll back like out of the way and stuff like that. I haven't seen any. The only fight I've actually seen in sports was like when I was playing baseball, and I think it was a dad and the umpire got in a fight. Obviously that was the dad like coming up on the field and like getting in the umpire's face. But yeah, like it doesn't matter where you go. For some reason, sports just gets people heated sometimes if they take it too seriously. I mean, I've had moments where people have been getting mad at playing the game, especially when I first started. I'm playing with a whole bunch of people I don't know, and I just tell them like, "Yo, it's a game. If you are getting frustrated and this mad over a game, you need to stop playing, because it's not worth it." And I don't. That situation is just crazy. I've never seen that before, even like in videos in the pickleball court. So I was pretty shocked to see it. But yeah, I don't have anything else to say. But if there are other pickleball brawls out there, I guess I want to see them. But I don't. I hope there's not any other ones out there. But I'll watch it. Yeah. Anything else to say on that one?
No, I was just like, I was shocked when you were like telling me, like, yeah, someone got knocked out, and then pulled up the video. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, that's it. And it looked like a nice facility too. So I'm like, yeah, good. Enjoy your band from that facility, and hopefully enjoy your stay.
I think it might have been a tournament.
I hope. I want to hear the backstory if it ever comes out, like what was going on during that match. But
if you get that mad over rec play, that's embarrassing.
Oh, have you had people slap the paddle out of your hand, either by accident? No. Okay. Never? Okay. Maybe I just play with some aggressive people. I don't know. I've definitely had it slapped out of my hand. I guess maybe my grip was too loose. Maybe it was my fault. I don't know. All right. So let's actually one more thing before we talk about the Black Friday deals. Don't worry. I got it in the notes if you really want to skip ahead to the Black Friday deals. Maybe you're just last minute shopping and you catch this late. You just need that deal. But first, Tickle went to London, right? Did you go to London?
Yeah.
London. That's why he was gone. Apparently, podcasts don't work over in London, so we just couldn't record from there. But what is? I haven't heard this story yet, but he has a pickleball story to tell, so I'm excited to hear it.
Yeah, not an actual pickleball story, because I didn't go there to play pickleball. I was there for vacation, to sightseeing, and I was walking in the Kensington area of this, I believe it's called Hyde Park. And I see tennis courts from a distance, but they're like covered by trees. So I'm like, oh, I wonder if there's pickleball courts there too. So I went with my wife, we're walking over, And what's funny is like it was the complete opposite of what you see here in the US. Like I get there and there are 4 pickleball nets that are like the portable ones, and they're just pushed off to the side. And every single tennis court was just being in use for tennis. And that's just the complete opposite of what you see here. Like I've never seen like pickleball court or pickleball nets just like push off to the side. Every single court is being used by tennis, and people are waiting in line to play tennis. Like these people had no idea what pickleball is.
Interesting. Did you go up and ask them or no?
No, I was running
Okay.
late for a dinner reservation, but I was just like, I've never seen this before. It's been like years since you've seen full tennis courts.
I should have told you before you went that they have there's a decent pickleball scene out there. There's a podcast. I can't remember the name. Sorry. But I've listened to it a few times. There's some British guys that just talk about pickleball, and they have a pretty good pickleball scene out there. I'm not sure if they're in London or where they're at in the UK. But I know they came over here recently for a tournament too. So they do have, I mean, obviously they have the nets, so there's a scene there.
Yeah.
But I would love to just like travel, not just to play pickleball, but wherever I go, like I would be nice to be like, oh, I can play pickleball, and I'd also want to like meet different people from different countries that play it and see like, oh, are they coming up with some new styles or new things, you know, because they're not like stuck in the US meta, like, and just, you know, they're surrounded by different ideas. So it'd be cool to see.
I know Will went to Taiwan, and he was just saying that everyone did not drop at all.
No
Everyone
drops.
Just, like, yeah.
That's funny. So just all tennis style. They're just like, no, what's a drop?
Yeah,
I mean,
I can see that being in other countries as well.
I could see that too, because like if like especially like Europe, I mean, there's already a big tennis scene. So like if all the tennis players just start playing together, like no one's gonna drop because they don't even know what the drop is. So I mean, maybe someone would figure it out eventually. They'd be like, oh, this shot can get me to the net easier, and then who knows? All right, so you have that was it? Did you
No,
play anywhere else?
Unfortunately, I was only there for like a few days. So
A few days?
yeah, it was just an interesting thing I saw when I was there. I was like not looking for pickleball at all, but then I found it, and then no one was playing it. So.
All right. What was your best experience while you were there? Like, what was your favorite thing that you saw or did?
Mainly it was just happened to be there when other friends were there, so just spending time with them, catching up.
Right. Is this your first trip or there or?
Yeah, it was my first time in London. So tried out all the classics like the full English breakfast, fish and chips, Sunday roast. Did all the sites. So yeah, fun time.
Cool. All right. Well, hopefully next time you can play some pickleball there. Yeah. All of our London listeners, reach out to them, get them back there. But let's talk about some Black Friday deals. I'm just gonna bring up the spreadsheet, or not spreadsheet. It's just a Word doc. I was going to write it down, but you know what? I figure I'd just show it on the screen and talk about it, and then I'll have it all linked in the description, and I'll keep adding to it if other stuff comes up. So it might, I don't know if this is all in alphabetical order. I tried, but it's probably not. 11/6/24, 25% off their Monarchs. Spend $150 and you get a bag half off, and that ends up being $50. And then $69 mystery blemished paddles. I see what you did there, David. $69. Come on. But yeah, so pretty good deals there if you're looking for anything. Bread and butter, 25% off their hot sauce, Shogun, Fat Boy, and Filth. I think there are some like random discounts too on their clothing. They had a nice flyer, but I'm just reading it. But no discounts on the Invader. That's also coming out on Black Friday. And we have not hit that yet, but hopefully by the next podcast we will, and we can give you a review on the paddle and the hot sauce. I'm hoping it's spicy. It's a jalapeno saucer or something, so I'm hoping it's spicy. Chorus, 50% off Super Core, Echo, and Daylight paddles, and maybe some of their gear. I know they have. I actually do. Have you tried their glasses? I do like their glasses.
Their glasses are actually really nice. Yeah,
their glasses might be one of my favorites. They stay on really well, and they have like. I've actually been using them outdoor and indoor. Like the tint they have, like doesn't stop me from seeing indoor, and it's good enough for sun. So I really do like their glasses. Those are some nice ones. Do you use the glasses indoors or just outdoor? The ones from Chorus.
I am dangerous right now. I have this theory that I'm only gonna get hit in the face if I wear glasses.
Oh my
So
gosh, are you,
yeah,
I don't
I'm
know
gonna
if
see
you've
what
heard
happens.
Tyler Loong says that. He's like, if you wear glasses, that means you'll get hit in the face because you're willing to get hit in the face. I played without glasses recently, and just because I forgot them, and I felt like I played worse just because I've been wearing them for like a year now, and so
Mm.
like when I wear them, I'm just fearless. I'm like, go ahead, hit me. Like I'm not scared. And then now I'm like, just if I see it too high, I'm like, I'm turning around if I don't have glasses. I'm like, go ahead, hit your winner. Carbon 20% off site wide. Gearbox up to 35% off selected items. GRÜVN $20 off all paddles and bags, and I think they're going to have some random mystery sales. And I would say that's probably something you could say about every company, pickleball company. Like some want to just like not give away all the Black Friday sales just because they want that excitement, I guess, on Black Friday. Whatever. I think if you're looking for a deal from a company, I think you're going to find it. It's just what that deal is might be a mystery until Black Friday. Honolulu Pickleball, their sale isn't determined yet, but they will have a site-wide sale with stackable codes. And then a lot of these sales, I don't know if they're going to make it just like the sale's going to be the sale, or you need to put in your code for the sale, or there's going to be sale and you stack it with a code. So, I mean, you'll find out in checkout, I guess. But I would just throw the code in there and see if it helps. Neonic Flow Prime X coming out November 19th. And this is going to be on sale from November 19th until November 30th at midnight. And that's going to be $100. I think retail is $140, but with the Black Friday promo, going to be 20% off, and stacks the 10% off code, it's going to be $100. So if you want to pick that up, it's going to be very good. Are you going to have a review Tuesday? I don't think I'm going to have one ready. It just isn't going to, it's not going to make it.
Yeah, I don't know. I might just do a first look because
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't hit it enough for me to really give a good opinion on it.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I've hit it a bit. I just don't have time to make the video. I like it. It's not a power paddle. I didn't know if they were going, I don't think they said it was a power paddle, but I would say it's like, if you had like all court to power, it would be like maybe like 15 to 20% past all court. Like it has like decent power, and then it has like decent pop, and it has a good feel. Stock, I would put weight on it. I don't think it plays
needs weight.
Yeah, I don't think it plays the best stock. I like all these paddles lately. They've been trying to like reduce the swing weight a lot on like not just Neonic, but a lot of paddles. And so I'm finding like playing a lot of these stock is difficult for me just because they don't perform that well. And I don't know, like if the smaller brands are kind of geared more towards like, the hardcore enthusiasts. Well, I guess it's the same with like Selkirk too. Like a lot of people are just trying to make their paddles lighter because people like to pick it. They pick it up and they'll put it back down if it doesn't feel light enough. So I think that's kind of like why people have been making stuff lighter. I mean, maybe some are making it lighter because they want people to have more customization room, but I think it's more so people pick it up off the shelf or pick up their friends and they're like, I don't like it. It's too heavy. But yeah, really good deal. So if you want the Flow Prime X, $100 for about 2 weeks there. And then 20% off, I think, this Neonic Flare Titanium. So I think it goes down to one, and then whatever the stacking is, 108 at final price. And then the Neonic Gen 2 backpack, going to be $43 on sale. Pretty solid backpack. I have that. It if you're looking for a small backpack to do the job, it's fine. I won't say it's anything special. It's just a backpack branded Neonic. Paddle Tech, buy a Bantam or Tempest, get a Gen Pro for free, and then up to 33% off selected paddles. I doubt they're gonna do 33% off the Bantams, like especially the ESQs. Like I don't see that happening. Especially after they went to 250 and then like stopped giving discounts out, but maybe. Pickleball Apes, 20% off all the old Energy line, Neo line. I didn't even know they sold the Neos still. Did you ever hit the Neos? I never hit
Is that their like?
That's their
Gen
first
1
paddle, I think.
Oh,
I don't even know. I don't know why they would still have that. Glasses, select clothing. I unfortunately didn't. Did you try their glasses? Their glasses were too big for me. I tried to tighten it. So unfortunately,
no, I've only tried the course glasses and the carbon pivots. But
how'd you like the carbon pivots?
And I think Carbon's came out with a new one too.
Oh, they came up with a new one. Okay.
Yeah.
Rhombus, various sales up to 50% off. I highly doubt you see any ripples on sale. They don't even sell you. I know that's what people are going to ask me. Dude, people have been giving out my phone number apparently, which I don't want people to do. But like I've been getting questions about people asking about the ripples. And they're like, why do you have a ripple? I'm like, what? I was like, what do you mean? Why do I have the ripple? I'm like, I just have it. And then, they're like, well, how do I get one? Like, why can't I get one, but you can get one? I was like, okay, like, do you watch the channel? Or like, I was like, the reviewers usually get the paddles first. But yeah, no ripples, no date in sight. I think maybe before the end of the year, but I don't know.
Yeah, hopefully.
We're all hoping. 6-0, 25% site wide. I don't know if that's all items. I doubt it. But maybe. Who knows? Sparta's 20% off site wide from Black Friday through Cyber Monday. I'm pretty sure that is everything. Thrive, 25% off all paddles, up to 50% off selected items. And then Volair, 25% off everything except the new control paddles. And that's it.
Okay.
All right. And then you had a Hudef has a sale coming, right?
Their Black Friday is going to be 35% off select items. I actually have it pulled up. So it's the Mage Pro Gen 2, Viva Pro Gen 3, and their new Luxury Gen 1.
Okay. Big 35% off right there, so. What's your favorite Hudef paddle out of those ones?
Probably the Viva Pro Gen 3. I wasn't a huge fan of the Mage Gen 2. It's just a bit too stiff for my liking, and then the Luxury Gen 1's basically like a budget luxe. Okay.
Yeah, the only Hudef I've actually tried is the Mage 2, and I really didn't like it. Especially the 14 millimeter one. 16 millimeter was fine. It was just so stiff and poppy. Yeah. I was just like, wasn't getting control on most of the shots. So.
Yeah, I know some people might like that, but yes.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah. So if you do want extreme pop, that 14 millimeter, man, whew, that's got pop. But wasn't for me. I like pop, but it's like I definitely have like a threshold of like it's too much, and that was too stiff. So we are all done with the Black Friday sales. We're gonna talk about the latest trend chasing, and then I don't know. Maybe I'll try to guess the next trend people will be chasing. But the latest trend is having a fiberglass layer. I think pretty much all are going like second or third layer underneath. Either carbon fiber or Kevlar. And I know Chorus put a very, very thin layer on their fire, but I don't know if we'll count that because it's who knows, I guess so thin that you don't even know it's there. But yeah, that's like, I don't even know how many paddle companies are chasing this trend right now. And honestly, it's hard to know who exactly was first because some people weren't even disclosing that they put the fiberglass layer in there. Mm-hmm. Maybe the Paddletech Bantams were first. I don't know when those came out. But yeah, it's definitely become like a thing everyone's been wanting to do right now. What are your thoughts on this? This was a topic brought up by David.
Yeah, I think I mainly noticed it when the bread and butter Invader we got the notes for that, and then they were putting that fiberglass layer at the bottom, and that's when I realized we've been seeing this quite a bit of these new paddles. Like Shapeshifters is already doing it, and then Lone 624 with the Monarch All Court, and the Jelly Bean. Like their whole lineup has that CFC layer, and then it's just an interesting trend how like companies have been switching. Like I think carbon fiber was that big thing, maybe like I think it was 2 years ago, and then it went to Kevlar, and then briefly titanium, and now it's like, okay, we don't want that softer feel. So like from Kevlar, you went to titanium, where it's not as soft as Kevlar, but like a bit more power. And now we're like, okay, let's just ditch all that. Let's get more pop. And I was wondering, is like where this trend's coming from? Is it like, are players now realizing, oh, we need to get better, we need more pop in our game, we need to like add more firepower to these paddles instead of like chasing control paddles? So
Yeah.
it's an interesting thing I was thinking about. But yeah, we've been seeing it in a lot of these like new releases. Like not everyone, but like a lot of companies are just like, yeah, we have a fiberglass layer here, or like the ISO Ryu, which we'll probably talk about later. It's got one. A lot of people have been throwing it in.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're chasing like the easiest, cheapest way to try to juice up their paddle, right? Because everyone's chasing that power paddle. I think a lot of companies are afraid to try to get into like the foam filled core right now because they don't know what the USAP rules are going to be or what the testing was going to be. Maybe we'll start to see some here in January, February, just because it seems like things are kind of getting ironed out now. Like supposedly November 1st was the date that the new PB core testing went into effect for paddles getting approved. So maybe some companies had something ready to go to try to get through that. And then, I mean, they already knew that adding that fiberglass layer was going to pass still, but it's still not going to get them up to that mod and the ripples are. But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I get it. Like this one, I get a lot more than the Kevlar because I think it works. At least I'm a fan of it. Are you a fan? You're a fan?
I think like if you had asked me a few months ago, I would have said no. But I think I've just changed in the way I play. That like I've got better control overall. But like previously, I probably wouldn't have been able to control this as of like maybe 6 months ago. So like now I'm liking it. I don't know.
Yeah, and I guess it's so many of the recent paddles. I'm trying to think, but like I think a majority of the paddles that we've reviewed lately have had that fiberglass layer in there. So it's almost becoming like a standard for all these new releases. I'm trying to think, like like the Shapeshifters, the Fire has it too, I think, right? Fire.
Yeah, I think so. And then both the Flare and the Flow Prime X's.
Yep, the Olympus had it. I think the Speedups have it. Don't quote me on that.
The Pyro, I think.
The Pyro has it. Yeah, so like not everything, but a lot of the stuff, the paddle techs have it, which I don't think they announced at first. I don't even know if they advertised that. I'm not sure. But yeah, a ton of stuff. I don't know about the Pickleball Apes though. The Pulses, they might not have. I don't think they have it.
That's polyaramid is what I remember.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, a ton of people are doing it. So is it a bad thing? Is it a good thing? I personally think it's fine. I wouldn't want to see like everyone doing the same thing though, because I mean then you kind of stifle the innovation. And I don't know. Like I think the next trend that people are going to chase, and they probably have been. I know there's been companies chasing it. Is getting that Gen 3 power that's equivalent to the mod and the ripples. Am I missing anything? I guess the Gearbox Pro Power as well. But that's probably something a lot of companies want. They want that paddle that's going to be able to max out at that new power level.
Yeah.
Whether that's going to be through foam or it's going to be through something else, I just think foam would be the main way most will get there because that's going to be the easiest to build for them and probably like the least R&D. The only problem, as we know, is with the foam, it expands and the paddle breaks. So that's kind of the issue is whoever comes out to market with something that can achieve the power without foam or figures out a different type of foam that's not going to break down, that still gives that power. I think that's and then whoever figures that out, people are going to chase it. Like maybe the Ripple comes out, it's not going to break, and people start chasing the Ripple. I don't know. But I know he has like patents on it, but like at the end of the day, you have foam in the core. I'm sure that people can figure a way around it. I don't know. What would you say the next trend is? You think they're going to just be chasing that foam, or?
Yeah, I don't know about the power. Main thing is, I mean, I do see your point, but my hesitation is like because the whole rules aren't really set yet, so it's hard for companies to go into R&D now to go produce the power.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I mean, I feel like if the rules weren't up in the air, I can see every company just pushing out for a power paddle.
Yeah.
But in terms of trends, I think what we're seeing now is like this may have been done before already, but it's like companies being a lot more transparent about like their layers.
Yeah.
And I think people are now experimenting more with the layers. Because previously no one was using fiberglass that much. I think it was the black diamond was the only one I can really think of that was popular. And that I think that I want to say that's like full fiberglass, but now people are like, oh, we can make it feel better if we put the fiberglass somewhere else. And companies are experimenting with that. And I think that's been the trend that we've been seeing lately. But
yeah. That's a good point. Fiberglass has been used for like a long time. It's just more of this fiberglass under the carbon fiber. Like it used to be like I remember 3 years ago when I started researching paddles, like, should you get a fiberglass paddle? Or I don't even remember what the other option was. Fiberglass. There was like aluminum.
Yeah, like composite.
Yeah, composite. There you go. Yeah, so like this fiberglass has been around a while, and it kind of like went away, and then it came back. So whoever like invented putting it as like a second or third layer, but
yeah, if I had to guess, I would say it might have been the first company I would say that comes to mind that actually disclosed it is 11624.
Okay.
When they put the CFC, and then after that, the only other company I can think of is Chorus with the Shapeshifter. I think those are the two that I can think of that openly said we're putting fiberglass here.
Yeah, I could see like companies not really disclosing it because they're like, oh, we don't want to get too far into the weeds, and like we just want to market this paddle and not talk about, because maybe at the time fiberglass was a bad word to like talk about using in your paddle, right? Like it had a bad connotation from the past, but now it seems like people enjoy it, so we'll see. I thought about something else while we were talking. I'm trying to remember what it was now. Hopefully it'll come back to me. Let's lead into. Do you have anything else on that? Any other trends that you think people are going to be chasing?
No, I mean maybe we'll see new material, but even then, I think it's tough for new material to come in because it's just a lot of times it's just changing the feel. And
yeah, I could see different faces. Like I imagine more people will have like the polyester faces in the future, but yeah, I mean I'm sure that like if polyester and Kevlar came up, I'm sure there's going to be something new in 2025. Like who knows what it's going to be. Maybe they'll find a face that can give more power. Like if you have a face that gave power but not too much pop. Like I don't know if the face can really do that much, but maybe. Oh no, I just remembered. Okay, my other trend that people are chasing is creating like prototype or project limited batch paddles that they have no intention to submit for USAP testing. Which we do have one we're going to talk about, right? That's not a paddle. That's the quiet paddle. Is that going for you?
I think it's actually approved.
Oh, okay. Is it quiet approved or is it like
both of them?
Both? Oh, okay. Yeah. Never mind that. We'll still talk about it. But I had a few companies actually email. I don't even remember the names now, but they're doing the they call them prototype paddles, but they're not going to submit them. They're, I assume, foam core paddles. Like they're talking about power paddles. So they're just going to go ahead, produce these power paddles, and they're not going to submit them to USAP, and then they're going to put them into the hands, of consumers. And we have 11624 is doing that with some paddles. They're not going extreme power with some of these. They're being more responsible with it. But we have like Diadem has like the Hush for a power paddle. That's not, and that one's not even like a prototype. They're just selling it as a paddle and letting it's not going to be tournament approved, but it doesn't stop people from using it in like rec play or probably a lot of tournaments, because who, you know, a lot of these tournaments aren't really checking.
They just like put their hand on the surface and
yeah,
that's
they
it.
put the hand on it, look to see if there's a USAP stamp, and I don't know if there's a stamp on that, but like you can get, like these companies can get the USAP stamp on their paddles. Like they don't have to get them approved. You can just put the stamp on there, and for most of the tournaments for amateurs, you could probably get away with it. So a lot of these new companies and then I think is Thrive. I think Thrive might be doing like a prototype or something. I know Body Helix is doing some prototype small batch stuff, but yeah, I think that's going to be a trend that we're going to see in 2025. Just people doing these power paddles and saying, hey, we're not going to get them USAP approved because we don't know what USAP is doing, and it's going to save us money and we can sell it cheaper and we can get it to you faster. And I think a lot of people will be like, hey, I can go use this power paddle. Everyone's using a Gen 3S already anyway, and they're playing with it, and that's not a legal paddle, so why can't I use my illegal paddle? I mean, and I would tell them, great point. I don't have an argument for you. Are you seeing a lot of Gen 3Ss?
I have actually, just because like one of the facilities I go to, people like you know, they sell things. But yeah, I mean, like if you're not like a nerd like us and you don't follow all these companies and like you only know about Yola and Selkirk, and someone like pulls up with like a Hush, you would have no idea that it's not approved. Just, you know, or you know, one of these small batches you're talking about, like if someone makes one of those, brings it out, like majority of people are not going to know that this thing is not approved, and they're going to be okay with it.
Yeah. I don't know like where the line's drawn, or, you know, like if everyone's using a 3S, why can't I use a Hush, or why can't I use whatever company sends me a, you know, a prototype, because they're like, hey, this is what we're selling and we're just letting people know it's not tournament approved, but like why can't I use that? You know, I don't know. That's something that will, I don't know. Hopefully we don't see like everyone using a Hush or a Vice. Like I don't know if the Vice hits harder than the Hush, but I guess Diadem just really cooking up those illegal power paddles throughout history. But yeah, I think we'll see that trend, like as a trend, is using that for like innovation and testing, I think is cool. But if we just see that as a way to get out power paddles, and then everyone has extreme power paddles that are way past the limit, I think we could see a problem there. I would see like communities almost like self-policing that stuff, just because, or like, you know, even groups are like, hey, we're just not going to play with you if you're going to play with that paddle. Like it's just not fun. But we'll see. So that's my other trend. I don't have any other trends. We'll get into this paddle talk. Probably the latest we've gotten into some paddle talk in a. I guess we kind of were talking about paddles already, but like individual paddles. The updated chorus Shapeshifters. Have you hit them all? I haven't hit them all, but
yeah, I've hit all of them actually.
Actually, I have hit them all. I didn't hit them all last week, but I did hit them all this week. What's your favorite of the bunch?
I actually really like this new hybrid shape that they replace. I
Getting on the hybrid chain.
Yeah, because this is actually a 16.2, and because it's like that flatter head and actually like flares and comes down. With this, I don't know. I just connected a lot better with this, even more than the standard. The standard was actually my least favorite of the three, but
okay,
I'd say hybrid was actually might be number one, and then the elongated. Like both of these are actually like a lot better than the original Shapeshifters. Just, you know, you're getting that extra juice from it. I thought the Shapeshifter was a bit like soft feeling, but I think this feels a lot better. This is definitely an upgrade.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm starting to think that like doing the curved top isn't the way to go on some paddles. I don't know, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I think it gave it a little extra juice, both pop and power. Plays well. So if you like the Shapeshifter and you want something with a little bit more juice with a new shape, I mean the hybrid was my favorite shape. Not really surprised for me because I tend to enjoy the hybrids the most lately. Elongated was good too. I didn't have any problem with the wide body. It was fine. I would say it's just, you know, nothing stood out to me with the wide body.
To me, it was just too short.
Too short.
It's like 15.8, and then like it tapers down, and I just felt like I was just clipping the top edge guard too much. And then with this, I was like, oh, I just get a little bit more. And it's 16.2. It's basically very close to a standard. It's very much like a standard. So that's I guess why I like it.
That's what I find myself when I'm using wide bodies. I guess especially like the 15.8 ones. I do find myself, especially when I'm trying to like take stuff out of the air on like dinks and stuff. Yeah, I find myself hitting that edge a little bit too much. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, if I had the hybrid or elongated, I wouldn't be doing this right now.
Yeah. Every time I miss an Ernie, I'm like, it's the paddle. It's not me. I would have gotten you otherwise.
But yeah, updated shapeshifters are good. Those are not out yet, I believe. I want to say December 15th. Does that sound right?
Yes, I think so.
Sometime in December. I'm going to say the 15th. Sounds good. Now, the fires are coming up November 30th. They'll be on sale. Been hitting with those a lot, especially the hybrid. Had some people test them out. I think you heard what I said last week. I played more with them this week. I'll let you go first on this one. Did you try all three?
Yeah. Mainly, I only hit the elongated for one game, but because it's a 14 millimeter, I knew I was gonna have to add weight to it. I stuck more with the hybrid and the standard, but I will say, especially because I'm coming from the Flare Prime X, and then I hit this, was a bit underwhelmed in terms of the power. But the more I've been hitting it, it's been starting to open up a bit, I think, and I've been, I'm experimenting a bit more with some tape, but it definitely needs more time. I'll let you go. Are
you talking about the hybrid? Sorry, which one were you talking about? Or all of them? The wide body.
Yeah, just the hybrid and the standard.
Okay. Both of them underwhelmed you a little bit on the power?
Yeah. It's just like compared to the Flare Prime X, but I was hitting it a bit more with the Dink Master earlier, and it feels like it's starting to open up a bit more. So
did you find them like really poppy at first, and then it kind of like went down a little bit, or was yours? How would
definitely poppier?
Yeah.
I don't know if it like gotten down, but I'll keep that in mind next time.
I'm not saying mine went down. Maybe I just got used to it. So I found that especially, so I started playing with the HX, the hybrid, quite a bit. Like originally I said that, these are on the stiffer end. I don't think that you could put weight on it. And I tried like the silicone strips that he sent out, and that did reduce like any of the a lot of the vibration, but it's still like you can't reduce the stiffness of it, right? With putting the weight on it. And by that I mean like I can just kind of feel like it just doesn't feel like it's probably more of like a dwell time thing. It doesn't feel like it pockets the ball as much.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I describe it. And I did feel a little bit of vibration, especially on the elongated version. The hybrid version and then the wide body version didn't feel as much of that vibration. And especially the elongated version more towards the top, it was more of an issue. And for that reason, the elongated is probably my least favorite of the three, which is unfortunate because I thought, I was like, I'm going to love the elongated, see what I can rip. But I don't. So I think maybe the pop decreased a little bit over the time I've been using it. Not by much, but it is really poppy. Like I was doing the measuring. I think it's poppier than the Olympus. I felt like I was getting more pop than the Olympus off of this. Still got to do the measurements, but as a big Olympus user, how did you do any side by side testing with the Olympus?
I did hit the Olympus slightly. I think I do think this was a bit. It is poppier.
Yeah, poppier, and then I would say the power was a little less. So interesting combo if someone's looking for that. Once I put weight on it, this is like from the bottom to the top corner of the 0.5 gram per inch tungsten. Played a lot better. So I think kind of a trend with a lot of these power-oriented hybrid paddles lately is like stock. I just don't like them that much stock. I think that to get the full optimal experience out of it, you need to add weight to it. So I don't know, I don't know what the percentage of people that are customizing their paddles is. Like obviously the people listening to this, the percentage is probably pretty high.
Yeah.
You know, because the only people listening to the pickleball podcast are, you know, pretty hardcore pickleball players, but like people that aren't don't know how many are customizing their paddles. So I'm always worried, like, oh, like if you're going to sell a paddle that stock, like you're not going to get the full benefit of using the paddle. Like I'm sometimes worried about that, but putting the weight on this, I do enjoy. I did enjoy it a lot more. I played a lot better with it. The sweet spot's fine. And then it's just kind of a different play experience because the ball pops off the face a lot faster than like the Olympus and the Neonic Flow Prime X that I've been using. So I've been hitting all the hybrids together in the Vatic Saga the Vatic Flash. How do you say it? Vatic Pro Flash Saga? Vatic Pro Saga Flash.
Saga Flash, yeah.
Saga Flash. Man, all the names just keep getting longer and longer. Anyway, so I've been hitting all these hybrids a lot lately, and this is definitely like the stiffest of them and the poppiest of them, and the ball just, you know, probably like the least dwell time. Still gets really good spin. I was hitting some good drives with it. It's just I felt like I had to change my stroke a little bit with it. So that's kind of my consensus on this. I would say that the elongated, I mean, obviously the elongated is going to be the hardest to control. It's still going to, you know, it's going to get the most power. But the hybrid was my favorite. Then I would go with the wide body, and the elongated was my least favorite of the three. So that's kind of what I would expect for myself lately, just because I've been hitting more hybrids and wide bodies. But I went in with an open mind, hoping, you know, I'd like them all. But I would go hybrid, wide body, elongated, and I would just say that they are poppy and they have pretty good power, but they are not like all the way into the power spectrum. They're just below the Olympus, and I'd put it below the Saga as well.
Yeah, I would too. That's the part I was like kind of expecting a bit more from it. I don't know if it opens up and gets more power, but yeah, I was expecting a bit more power from it.
Yeah, I've put on about, I would say like 8 hours on the hybrid now, so we'll see. Sometimes it takes, you know, different amount of times for it to change. I'm gonna let some people use the wide body and elongated to put some more time on it, and we'll see what happens. Now 247 Mystic. This one, this guy. Sorry, I think his name's Ryan, right? Ryan. Yes.
I forget.
Hold on. You give me your first impressions. I'll look up his name real quick. I wanna give him a shout out because, you know, this guy is 18, coming out with his own paddle brand. So I wanna get his name right.
Yeah, I think we talked about it when we first got these paddles, but really, really nice packaging. That actually really surprised us. But this paddle, it's elongated. It uses 18K Kevlar, I believe. It's like a weave with like 18K Kevlar and carbon fiber. Interesting thing about the mold is there's a very, very sharp taper here. Like that's this, and if I pull up another one, like the Neonic, you can see like it's so much sharper on this thing, and that just gives you a lot more space for that two hands. I will say, and I think you mentioned it earlier when we spoke, but it definitely needs like some tape down here because it is a bit unstable at these areas. But you know, the swinglet wasn't too heavy. You can definitely customize it. I would say it's very soft feeling. The feel reminds me a lot of the original Shapeshifter without the fiberglass layer. So it's just more, I place this more as like a all court leaning control paddle. And that's, but overall solid paddle. Was surprised by it.
Yeah. So I don't think anyone has come to market with this facing yet. I know I've hit a prototype of this facing. And now I actually know what it was because before I didn't know, but it kind of makes sense now that it's that 18K with the Kevlar, and as we were talking earlier, of course, more fiberglass underneath this thing. With the weight, so yeah, I need to measure the swing weight still, but I could see this thing being like 110 swing weight. I got to measure. It felt really, really light. It felt almost too light. So I probably would actually want to add more weight. I just have like 3 grams right here. on each side, just because I knew picking it up, I'm like, nah, I can't play like I tried a little bit stock, but I knew I was gonna need the weight like pretty quickly. But yeah, it has a really, like you said, it has a really good feel with the weight. This thing was yours super gritty too. This was gritty. Really gritty. Yeah. I was getting great spin with it, and I let some friends use it, and they were like, "Oh man, the spin on this." One in particular was like, "My lobs have never been better." I'm like, "Okay." I was like, "I don't know. I don't ever lob, so I'm like, I don't really know what I'm looking for in a paddle that lobs well." But spin's probably one of them. Yeah, pretty cool. I did like the packaging, like you're saying, the branding, and with the weight, the power level actually felt decent. I would with adding weight, I got it to like just above, I would say, maybe just at like a Shogun level power when I added the weight. So, and I think there's room to add quite a bit of weight with how light it is. And like you're saying, great for the two-handed backhand, but yeah. I know the only problem, obviously, very competitive market. It's going to be hard to like bring this out and have people buy it, but I think at least it has different facing, a good feel, good branding. So shout out to Ryan for sending that to us. We appreciate it, and it was fun.
Also, what's the face again? So it's 18K Kevlar and carbon fiber. There's no fiberglass, right?
No, there. I'm pretty sure he said that there's fiberglass underneath. Let's see. Yeah, 18K. Maybe I'm making this up now because I'm just thinking about fiberglass. 18K fiber and Kevlar carbon fiber surface. Yeah, and so one layer of 18K with the in Kevlar, or one layer of 18K in carbon fiber. Okay. Kevlar, whatever, and then one layer of T700 unidirectional carbon fiber, and then one layer of fiberglass. So the third layer.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and then I don't think he's selling this yet, but he said estimating 140. So we'll see what it comes out to be.
Okay, interesting one.
So yeah, another one with fiberglass. I think it plays pretty well. But yeah, cool. Holbrook Aeros, you have finally hit that one. Which shape did you have?
The elongated, but with not the longer handle. I think it was like 5.25 inch handle. I think that's the Aero E. Okay. I want to say. I mean, I think it's fine. It's like if you like that edgeless feel. I know a lot of people give like edgeless paddles like a bad rap because they don't have that perimeter weighting that the edge guards do give you. But the thing is, all these edgeless paddles, they just have this unique feel to them. And I know you probably don't like it. I personally not a huge fan, but there are people that like
they cut through
like
the air.
Power yeah, like it's not even just a swing weight. It's like the way it feels. Like they like that plywood feel, and to them, you can control the ball well. So if you're one of those people, I think this is one of the better edgeless paddles because they've already put in like perimeter weighting for you, and then you have the opportunity to add more. It feels nice. It's a good paddle. It's just kind of pricey, but it just depends if you like the edgeless or not. It's just more expensive to do edgeless. So
I agree. I mean, I like the wide body when I tried it. I thought it was fine, and I played well with it, and it's like a control paddle. Super maneuverable and not much power or pop. So if that's something you like, but like you said, they're expensive too. I don't have a problem per se with the edgeless paddles. I just think like most of the edgeless paddles I've played with haven't really been that good, and I end up having to put a lot of weight on them. They added perimeter weighting inside this already, so that would be a thing that people could copy right there and try and chase that. Just start adding that weighting inside. That way, people pick up the edgeless paddle and they're like, "Wow, this already feels good." Anything else on the Holbrooks?
No, nothing much. I hit them for like a few games, and I've got some other people on the team hitting them now, so they'll give me some updated thoughts.
All right, putting those employees to work.
Yeah, the unpaid interns, people that want to be
All right, I'm interested in this one. I haven't heard anything too much about this. You hit a quiet paddle that I guess we talked about already briefly earlier. former Vulcan engineer, Discord legend. I forget his name.
Yeah, Abstract. If
Abstract, yes.
TV
Discord
studio,
legend. I think he's been around for what, like a year and a half, 2 years. He's been around for a while. So he's starting a company.
Yeah, I'll need to check the messages again.
Okay.
But he reached out to me because I reviewed the old Vulcan V740 HT Max, and I did not give that a good review because mine actually snapped in half. It wasn't. I'm pretty sure. I think it was like a Gen 1 construction, and it was just really flimsy at the throat. But I mean, overall, it wasn't a great paddle, and I actually bought that one because I was really curious. I had, Abstract was saying a lot of cool things about it, so I bought one of his like factory like seconds for like $50. Did not like it. But he reached back out and said like, hey, I'm no longer with Vulcan. I started this, which is a quiet paddle. So it's going. If I recall correctly, it's going to be quiet approved and USAP approved. But I hit it briefly. This is basically a Gen 1 paddle. Like if I had to say, it does not like, especially hitting it next to all the other paddles that we just talked about. This was just noticeably a lot less powerful. But what's funny was whenever I was at the net, people were like, I never know what you're going to do because it's so quiet. Like,
interesting.
Kind of, I would say it's just like a very, very low pitch, like a thudding sound. And whenever I hit it, people are just like, I don't know what you're going to do, if you're going to speed up or not, because I just can't hear you hit the ball. So it's an interesting paddle. I think it's just not very powerful. And I don't think the sweet spot's very good. But, if it's going for the quiet, you got to give it credit for that. So we'll see.
Is that the only one he has right now coming out, or does he have other ones?
As far as I know, it's just this one. I've only hit it for one game, but it's got like, it's tough to tell. But
is that it's not carbon fiber?
I don't think so.
It doesn't look like it's like.
I don't think if you can see in my camera, but there's like a bunch of like these cubes.
Yeah, I can see the cubes.
That all has texture on it.
Oh, interesting.
So I don't know if it's like the graphic is giving it some texture.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll need to hit it more.
I don't know much about the quiet paddle demand, but it does seem like there's demand, especially in like, I think it's like mainly like senior communities, and they do buy a ton. So like, I think Owl's actually been doing well. Like they've been selling a lot of their quiet paddles. So there's definitely demand there. I don't think there's demand in the places that don't have restriction on noise. I think, most of the pickleball players don't care about the noise. But if someone builds a legal quiet paddle that is good, I think it does give you an advantage when you can't hear the sound. People use the sound to react. So if someone does build a quiet paddle that's legal and it's good, I think that would be one to watch out for in 2025.
Yeah, definitely.
Anything else on those?
Nothing else in that one. I just hit it more.
You want to talk about the speed-ups? The Pyro?
Yeah, you brought them up during your last episode, right?
I did talk about the Pyro. Did I talk about the Cryo? I don't know if I talked about the Cryo. But yeah, I did talk about the Pyro. I have heard some other thoughts that are different than mine, but I'm interested to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, I hit the Cryo more, but
okay.
I think the thing is I just think the handle is a bit too long. So the handle is really nice. I do like that. And I think if you're trying to look for like power, like this isn't going to give it to you. And if you're not looking for power, then this paddle is completely fine. Like if you like that handle and you're okay with a more all-court control paddle, it's just the thing is like a lot of times when you have that longer handle, it lets you like gives you more torque when you're like whipping your shots. But because there's so less weight in the head, you just can't get enough power behind it. There's no plow through. And that's the issue here. So even like you're going to be adding like a lot of weight, but then you're driving up the swing weight, which is already at that like 122, 120. So you're just going to be driving it up a lot higher. So I think like I messaged them. I said like a Carbon 1X with a 5.5 inch handle hits harder than this. And even the Pyro, I hit this briefly, like not as much as a Cryo, but I still don't think like I would classify either of them as even like an all-court paddle. Like these are like more all-court leaning control for me.
I agree. I've heard some people say that the Pyro has like really good power, and I would say that that's not true. It just
Yeah, even with the
doesn't,
weight up.
unless it changes over time. I mean, like it just, unfortunately, it doesn't have. It's not a power paddle, and like you said, it's more leaning all court control. Like you could wait, like you said, even if you wanted to weight it up, the swing weight's already high, so you're just going to be swinging around a sledgehammer if you weight that thing up. And yeah, it just I think the market for that long of handle, I think like 5.75 is probably like the limit. You probably want to make your handle. You start making that 6-inch handle, it's too long for a lot of people. You know, like I played with the Pickle paddles, those what, a 7-inch handle. So you know, like it's just a very, very slim market that you're going after for people that even want that length of the handle, because you know, you start going too long, you have diminishing returns, and then you got negative returns on going too long. You have less paddle face, you have less plow through, you have higher swing weight when you're getting that longer handle. You just, yeah, I really wanted to like them. It sounded cool. They look good. I think they really, really do look good.
I would say I like their original lineup better, the Fire and Ice. These are just like they're softer feeling, and if you like the original lineup, wanted the softer feel. Like I wouldn't say they're bad, but you know, if you're okay with them being softer, then
it's not that they're bad. It's just they fit a specific niche that I'm not sure how many people like. I just don't know I just don't know who I would recommend it to. You know, if you're like.
It's like, unless you have like massive hands.
Yeah, like my hands are too big for these small like I don't. But then they'd probably be swinging, and you're like, oh, it feels like I'm swinging a fly swatter and trying to, you know, hit a rock or something. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe for some people they are generating a ton of power, because I did see some people saying that, but not for us, I guess. So
yeah, not in my case.
Last one, the Pickleball Apes Pulse. Which ones have you hit, or how are you feeling about that series?
I only have the S and the E.
Okay.
They didn't have enough of the V in stock to send to me, so I've only hit the S. I think that's a very good all court paddle. I think I dropped a video, might have been earlier today before I took a nap. But yes, it was today.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's a good all court paddle. So this is like a new series I'm trying out. Instead of me doing like a whole roundup, I think a lot of people haven't really it's hard for me to like really showcase a brand individually when like in the title. I'm trying to find a way to like fit all the title like company names in there. So now I'm just like, all right, I'm just gonna make a short video for everyone. And this is my first impression of the Pulse, and I hit it for like 3 games, like 1 hour, and I just think it feels nice. I don't think it's a powerful paddle, but everyone's been telling me like, oh, yours just hasn't broken in yet. You're going to feel that power. But as of right now, I'm like, it actually has a very nice feel to it. The S, the hybrid version, I was like, this feels very nice. Like it's a good, solid feel to it. But I'm excited to break it in and see how it feels later.
I like the feel of it, and I hope it breaks in and gets more power like some people are saying. But I just feel like when you start talking about paddles breaking in, I don't know if it's always going to be like consistent across the board, and it seems like some people haven't had theirs break in. So and it's really weird that like Pickleball Ape said that these aren't supposed to break in. So I don't really know what to make of the whole situation.
Yeah,
and that's kind of why I've held off on playing a lot of them, because I'm like, I just don't know what to tell people. I'm like, it seems like half the people say it's a good all court, and then the other half are like, "Oh, mine broke in and it has a ton of power." I'm like, what do I don't know what to tell people. Like, you have a 50-50 shot of it getting power or not. I don't know. So, yeah, I mean, I guess if you're like, hey, I'm cool with an all court paddle, it performs really well, and if it gets more power, great. Because I don't know if it heats up on the pop. Not sure. You know if they were talking about pop too, or
I don't.
It just seems like people like talk about it heating up for power, so I don't know. But I would imagine it probably heats up in pop too. I don't know how it wouldn't, if it's, it has to do with the foam. I would imagine the pop heats up too. But yeah, we'll see. Try to get them more. I lent I think 2 of them out. I wanted to get some more time on them. That's just, I don't have enough time to like break these in if they need like 20 hours on them. So yeah, free demos out there. I don't think I have any more paddles to talk about. Do you have any other paddles on your mind right now?
No, those are all the ones I got to
Okay.
hit when I got back this week.
All right. Well, I don't have any other bonus topics or anything else. Maybe next time I'll have a bonus topic. Do you have any other topics you want to talk about, or are we about to wrap this thing up?
Yeah, I think we're good for this week.
All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. David, thanks you for joining me. Glad you are back from London. It's very hard to talk on a podcast by yourself, you know. But don't worry, I can do it. I can talk all day. But a lot more fun when you're here. Appreciate everyone for watching. And go subscribe to Tickle My Pickle if you haven't. Of course, smash that subscribe here if you haven't too. And we'll be back next week. Actually, if you want to, if you're still here, leave me your favorite angry pickleball story. I would love to read it next time on the podcast. Peace out.